The market jumped up last week on election euphoria and possible vaccine for COVID-19. Where do we stand now? Is the market overbought? If so, what do you think you should do? Let me walk you through how to move around the current market's condition. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Trending Thursday here on YouTube. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here. Joey's in the background. He's my producer. He's the guy to make sure that everything is going good. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation. And by the way, Joey, say hi.
Hi.
There you go. So if you're brand new, welcome. If you're not brand new, then welcome. If you have questions along the way, please do not be afraid to ask them. All right, a couple of things. One, if you're brand new to the channel, I'm going to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you like the content, especially if this is your first time here. And if you have not already, hit the bell icon to get alerts when it's time when we get new content. And one last thing. If you like what you see here today, do not forget to hit the like button. That's a good way for our channel to grow. Thanks to you guys, our channel is continually growing. All right. So I want to get hot and heavy into it. And with everything that's going on in the world today, two things that I never talk about. One is politics and the other is religion. So I want everybody to be cordial to each other. As you can see, everyone can see the chat in here. So just be cordial to each other. Respect everybody in the room, because if not, Joey is going to drop the hammer on you. That's what it comes down. Right, Joey? Sure. Where's my thing? Where's my sounds?
My hammer?
What are you, Thor? You got a hammer? Where's your hammer?
I might need one.
You might need one. All right. So Joey's getting my sounds for me so that I can make sure I put some sounds out there just in case. It's my own little Kramer box, but I didn't say Kramer. Right, it's my own little box of stuff. So there we go. That's my way of saying thank you all for being here as well. All right, so we're going to get hot and heavy into what's going on. And the biggest thing that we always start off with is market timing, because we're one of the only companies out there that actually time the market. For those that you may be new, for those of you who may be new, when we say we time the market, we don't guess at what the market is going to do going forward. That's not what we do. We're trend followers. We follow the trend of the market and keep our subscribers on the right side of the trend. So from a market timing perspective, let's take a look at what's going on. So before I bring up the market timing, what's going on in the market? Well, we have a president-elect that's being contested. So that's a lot of what's up in the air. And you know what markets don't like? The markets don't like when things are not set up right. They don't like volatility, and the market responds to that. And prior to the election, the market was like, okay, this is going to go, this is going to rock and roll. And then after we now getting a little bit more contesting in the market or in the presidency, the market's not feeling that. But as a VectorVest subscriber too, we're also showing you the market is at a level of looking for a top. We're going to get into that in a second. What else is going on in the market? COVID-19 is getting worse across the country. And did you know, Joey, that in North Carolina, we're one of the top 10 states with the increase in coronavirus? So, you know, Joey and I, we do sit apart in here. You never see him on the camera because he's away from me, but he's here as part of what's going on. All right, so keeping those things in mind, unemployment is getting better. Less people are filing for claims. What else is a big thing? The lack of a stimulus in the whole idea of COVID-19. So there are a lot of things behind the scenes that are affecting the market. But what we're going to do is we're going to get into the software, and we're going to look at the home page of the VectorVest software to give us an idea here in Trending Thursday what to look for. All right, weed is big in GRWG. I know. We're going to talk about that. Stop talking. We're going to talk about some of these stocks, all right, already. So just give me a little bit of time. Oh, all right, just give me a little bit of time. So when we're sitting here looking at the market timing graph, What are we looking for? Well, we look at what's going on with our main indices all across the board. All of the major indices are down today. The Dow is down 1%. That's the leader today to the downside. The NASDAQ, which was the only indice holding on today, finally went negative. The S&P 1,500 down about 1%, and our very own VectorVest Composite is down about 0.9%. The VectorVest Composite is the indicator that we use for timing the market. Why? Because it tracks the move of 8,358 stocks in one ticker symbol. That's what we use to track the trend of the market. Now, when the Dow is down or the NASDAQ is down or the S&P is down, we're looking at about 4,300 and 500 stocks respectively. All right, when we look at the NASDAQ tracks more stocks than both the S&P 500 and the Dow, but the NASDAQ is very tech heavy. Most people use the indicator of the S&P 500, either the SPX or the XPY, for the purposes of tracking the 500 stocks in there to gauge whether the market is up or down. But we have an indicator that tracks over 8,300 stocks. That's what we use for market timing and to see where we are. Now, as a VectorVest subscriber, let's go over to our color guard, which tracks 3 of our market timing indicators. Again, that price of the VectorVest Composite, we track it both on a week-over-week and day-over-day basis. RT is a VectorVest indicator, one of our core proprietary indicators, which looks to tell us if the market's in an uptrend or not. This indicator is cast on a scale between 0 and 2, where above 1, the market's in an uptrend, below 1, the market's in a downtrend. And the BSR, or buy-to-sell ratio, every stock in our database gets a buy, hold, or sell recommendation every day, and we look at that relationship of buy recommendations divided by sell recommendations. Right now, with the buy-to-sell ratio at 2.10, for every sell in the system, there's over 2 buys. The market is still showing signs of strength. We use this color guard like a traffic light. What's the preponderance of color you see? Green. What does that mean? It's okay to be long in the market, but wait. We have another indicator. The indicator known as the MTI, or the market timing indicator, which looks at all 3 of these indicators, the price, the RT, and the buy-to-sell ratio. The MTI is also cast on that VectorVest scale between 0 and 2. It looks at what we call the underlying trend of the market. When the MTI hits a level of about 1.5 to 1.6, we're telling you that the market is at a region where it's looking for a level of not only resistance, but a level of pullback or a level of the market looking for a high, a market high. So from that perspective, or a market top, from that perspective, a VectorVest subscriber has the ability to know this is a good time, even though there's a lot green in here, to tighten the stops on the stocks that you own. Now, if you want to get this information on a daily basis, we do offer a 99-cent trial. That 99-cent trial will give you access to all of this information on a daily basis. All right? So that's where we stand as far as what's going on, just as a cursory view, looking at the homepage of the VectorVest software to get a feel of what you should be doing. So based upon what I just said, it's okay to be in the market, number 1. Notice that our guidance says VectorVest advocates caution, so that's number 2. So it's okay to be in the market, but to do so cautiously. And with the indicator of the MTI, we're also adding to that sense of being cautious because the market is at a process or at a point where it's starting to look for a top. All right, so cursory, this is what you do. Manage your stocks with the trades, with the stops that you have, tighten stops, just to make sure that you don't get blindsided. And another thing, don't give back more than half of what you've made in your trades. All right, so let's start getting into the stories behind what's going on in the market. Number 1, let's go over to, is this the right one, Joey? No? Yes, it is. All right, so U.S. job openings are rising closer to pre-pandemic levels. So people are slowly but surely getting back into the work world. The market or the world is starting to reopen. But put those 2 things together, an increase in coronavirus cases and the market, the world reopening, it's a give and take here. I like that more and more people are getting back into the workplace. Why? There's still no stimulus. So people are getting to a point where they've got to go back to work because right now they're not getting any stimulus. So just keep that in mind. So that was one headline story. Measure of the labor market activity is the latest sign of improvement for the economy despite the rise in infections. You know something? People are going to get to the point where if they're not going to get stimulus, they've got to get back to work. And I think that that's exactly what's going on. Now, let's talk about the stimulus. Fed says coronavirus remains a top U.S. financial risk. The Fed Reserve's financial stability reports highlights uncertain outlook. Now, the Fed last week decided to keep the Fed rates the way that they were, really low. They're not moving that, and we've been historically low now, pushing probably a year or so, thereabouts, where the interest rates are low. Cool thing about that is that when you go borrow money, you can't. It's not a lot of money you have to pay back on that kind of a spectrum with the rate. But are banks lending money? You know, banks are going to lend money to people who really don't need it. Think about that. All right, that's a thing. Speaking virtually at a National Association for Business Economics annual meeting, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell warned of potential tragic risks if Congress and the White House do little to support the recovery. And that's big. The Fed has been saying a lot that we need stimulus. Go over to the next story. There it is. U.S. needs a really, really big relief package to keep its economy afloat. Think about this from this perspective. If you don't put money into the hands of the people that need it, they can't spend it. And the way that the economy gets better is that we put money. Now, at some point in time, you got to understand the stimulus costs money. All right, and that adds to our deficit. I think we're at $27 trillion in deficit. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But in order to to keep the economy going, to keep the economy, as it says here, afloat, people need to be able to spend money to put it back into the economy. All right, and if they don't have the usable flow of money to do that, the economy is going to stagnate. And the Fed has been saying that we need a relief package. We need a relief package. We need a relief package. Hopefully with the president-elect or whatever happens. Again, I'm not worried, I'm not really concerned from that perspective. I just want to do what the market tells me to do and follow what the market is doing. But I think no matter what, Congress needs to sit down and hash out something to help the people that are in need, especially if the Fed is still talking about that as well. All right, so these are some stories behind the economy and what's making the economy do what the economy is doing right now. I'm going to get back into the software. All right, and I'm going to go to our watch list. We create a watch list every week, and this week it's going to be in the watch list viewer. We're going to go to the YouTube trending Thursday. And what's today's date? 11/12. There it is, 11/12/2020. Here's the stocks that we will be discussing today. And some of the stocks that you guys were asking about already in the room are in my watch list of stocks to cover today. So we're going to start off with the two indices that we utilize for looking at the market, which is the SPY and the VVC. And I'm going to answer a question. RSI, what does that mean? Relative Strength Index. That's an indicator. It's normally a technical indicator, RSI, relative strength index, helping you to decide whether the market is overbought or oversold. Another technical indicator to help you to tell you if the market is overbought or oversold is stochastics. So both of those pretty much do the same things. They have specific values to determine whether the market is overbought or oversold. And that's probably a question that was asked in the room. There you go. Mash Larry Transportation said Bitcoin RSI is off the charts. I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin today at all. I've already done a story on them a couple of times. VectorVest is letting, we talked about it last week or a week before, VectorVest is letting people who are looking at cryptocurrency know that it is on the move, all right? But it's not one of the stories that I'm going to talk about today. I want you guys to concentrate on what I'm trying to give you now, all right? I understand there's a lot of crypto people in here. I respect that. But for those people who are not interested in cryptocurrency at this time, I did tell you again that VectorVest has shown that it's on the rise. Let me show you what's going on now so that you guys can take advantage of it. All right, you guys are still asking for stocks. Let me let you know I will give you an opportunity to look at individual stocks. So the two indicators that we use for tracking the market are the SPY, or the S&P 500 ETF, and our VectorVest Composite. If we look at them right now, both of them are down today. All right, but I'm going to turn around. I'm going to put these on a 3-month graph. Right-click, view the stock graph, and let's go put it on for a 3-month graph. This is what the market is doing right now. Now, I've got a couple of things on my graph. One, I've got a moving average. I'm looking at a moving average, an exponential moving average, 20-day exponential moving average. A couple of things going on with the S&P 500. The price of the 500 is still above the exponential moving average, which is good. But coming off the high, which was on 11.9, all right, big pullback. That was a big pullback in the market coming into the president-elect. Big up day in the market, but a lot of stocks pulled back that same day as well. We did that in the Jockey Club. We took advantage of some stuff, but the market did pull back big time. And coming off of that high from 11.9, the market has pulled back, a down day today. But remember, we were talking about from the VectorVest perspective that caution is advised. Well, that makes sense. The price of the spiders is still above the 20-day exponential moving average. Watch volume. Volume is starting to fall. Here's our indicator relative timing, which tells us if a stock or a market is in an uptrend. It is in an uptrend, but starting to pull back a little bit. Once RT gets below the value of 1, the indicator or the market will be in a downtrend. So caution is advised. One day doesn't make a trend. This is why I'm still saying tighten the stops on the stocks that you currently own. And here's our VectorVest Composite exhibiting the same characteristics. Volume is falling as the stock price, or the VVC, is falling. Down day to day, but still above the 20-day exponential moving average. RT is above 1, but falling as well. So again, what do you do now? Manage the trades that you're currently in. If you're going to pick up new stocks, make sure that they're rising on the day that you buy them, and look at least a 3-month graph to determine whether or not it's a stock that you want to hold long-term or not. Be careful. If the market is at a point of looking for a high, be careful on the new stocks that you pick up. If you get a good up day, a good update and the stock is moving, don't be afraid to take advantage of it. Just put a tighter stop on it. Any stock that you're currently holding, just make sure you don't give back more than half of what you've made. In a cautious time, it's a time to be diligent in your trades and manage your trades. Plan your trades, trade your plan. Hey, if you like this content, guess what? You can join us live every Thursday at 2 p.m. here on YouTube. Join VV Nation. We hope to see you there.